All right. Well, live actually went through this time. So, now that I can tell that live has gone through, we'll kick it off. Hey there, what is up, beautiful people? It's Wolf Brother Mythos from the channel Frost and Fists. And yeah, so if you tried tuning in earlier, Wybird, good evening, my brother. And if you tried tuning in earlier, it's been just technical difficulties. So we've been fighting with the cameras this whole time. Well, I fought with it a little bit. I was like the ineffective, little guy trying to fight against the bully while the bully holds his head and the little guy's just wailing at nothing. Yeah, that was me. And then my wife actually came over and did something because she's got the technical know-how. And through some experimentation, we found the culprit. One of my cameras is burned out. So it's served faithfully for several years now. I guess we've been doing this live stream thing for about 5 years now. And so it served faithfully, but it was time to let go of that one. And so that one's out right now. Here, what we're looking at is the newer camera that's usually my table down camera when we're painting. She turned it off and turned it on again. Oh man, there was so much turning off and turning on again. That's the one thing I know how to do, right? Just turn it off and turn it on again. But no, she chased it down. First she checked all the USBs to make sure that they were working. And then she was able to narrow it down to the specific camera that was damaged. And yeah, it just seems to be that my older model is pretty much burnt out. So yeah, what we've got here is we've got my table down painting camera. It's my newer one. And instead of looking down at the tabletop now, it'll be looking at my mug here. And and then eventually I'll order a new table down camera. But if we do choose to go paint and go table down, then we'll just have to go old school, and do it manually, where I pause the camera for a minute and move the camera physically, and then we'll be looking table down, and we won't have the dual cams looking at me and looking at the camera. But that's fine. When I'm painting, you guys don't need to look at this all the time. We don't want you guys to get tired of it. So that's what it is. And big shout out to my lovely Lily for fixing it for me, because I was frustrated and ready to just go to bed. I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm done. But Lily's a hardworking lady and she got it all fixed. So now we're helping ourselves to a celebratory Coke. And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to go into the show. There's 13 minutes left in my usual show time. So after struggling through the tech, I just thought I'd come on here, let you guys know what's going on, and that the live show will be, resume its normal times next week, hopefully with fewer technical difficulties. Is it a real Coke? Yes. Well, kind of. It's the new, it's a Coke Zero, first of all, and it's that new spiced raspberry flavor that they've come out with, and just thought I'd give it a try, and it's actually pretty good. Now, I'm not going to get it every time. I think I still prefer the regular Coke flavor, but yeah, it's pretty decent. So yeah, I just wanted to come on here and show everybody that, ready to go for the next show. I got a couple of things in the works. I've got a couple of tutorials coming up. So I plan on putting some heat bloom on the autocannons here, and I've had a few people ask me on how to do heat bloom, so I thought I'd do one of those on camera. This has been coming along pretty well. I'm pretty pleased with the airbrushing on the cockpit here. It's just a Mechanicus gray and the base coat. Then I got in there and airbrushed the center of each window with a gray sear, and I think it's made a pretty decent little cockpit effect. What's that? Hey, you best have a D&D game in the works. We will see, my man. We will see. It is something I'd like to do. Let me get together with my DMs and see what we can figure out. But yeah, but it'll be with new characters. Okay, we're not gonna just bring your already tricked out, you know, D&D characters in to, you know, just give our DMs an OP time. But yeah, we'll try and get that in the works. I think that'd be fun. Oh, something I've got coming up to right now. I am currently 3D printing. I wouldn't do that. Oh no, you never like to bring in a super strong character to give your DMs headaches. Never. Okay, so here, something I've got cool going on is here. I've made a Brother Atlas a deal for him to put together a few of my bigger miniatures in return for me printing him some. And when he put this one kind of far back on the base, because originally he was going to do a pose where the sword was like stuck in the ground, which is cool, but I told him, you know, that just overall I kind of would prefer him to be holding the sword. So it was kind of my fault. I kind of messed up his groove there. But so that leaves a lot of open space here, and something I'm going to be trying is I'm currently 3D printing a well that I think I sized correctly to fit on the front of the base here. And of course I'm going to have to take some of that texture paint and scrape it off, which is a shame because I've already hardened it up with some wood glue. And so that you know, wood glue is strong stuff. That stuff is stuck on now. You can get, let's get that ASMR, you know, like you know, that stuff is stuck on there. So anyways, I'm going to have to scrub some of that off, and I've got the well I want to put on there. If you've never seen my Ultramarines before, I do like you know, a fancy meadow kind of basing scheme, right? And so anyways, I'll still be doing the flock and grass and maybe a couple flowers, but there's going to be a well in the middle of that meadow there. And it's like an old-timey one that I'm printing up, and so I want to get it painted up, put some water effects in the middle of the well, and yeah, just be a little something cool to kind of hang out on the basing. So I always love putting water effects into bases and stuff like that. So that's a neat little thing that I'm kind of working on. So yeah, a couple things I'm working on. And then that plus decals, I think this guy will be ready to go, and that'll be my first March For Macragge bit done. Of course, vehicles are always easy. I've still got my Tigerius, which I need. Oh my goodness. I've already got a print most of the way done, and I forgot to print off his. Hey, Jingle Bunny. Say hi to the camera. Or just show them your butt. You know, whichever. Cat butt. What are you doing? No, you're not going to be climbing up there, because you know you're not supposed to. Anyways. So I need to reprint Tigerius' staff arm, because the staff I had busted. So we need to print off a new arm. It's a shame to run a printer for just one staff, so I'll have to figure out something else to print in the process. Oh, he's watching my print. That's a good point. Don't climb up there. Let me get you. Let me get you. Are you going to jump up on the computer? Back to the print. Hey, Keegan, my man. I was just letting everybody know how everything went. Turns out my main camera is burned out, and so we're using my table down painting camera now as my main camera. But yeah, my wife got everything going again. So she managed to trace the problems back to the camera, made sure all my USB points were working. Hey, Charles, good evening. Good to see you. Hey, Pumpkin Hungry. Good to see you, my brother. Yeah, just doing a quick catch-up stream at the end to show everybody that, you know, while most of the stream was taken up with the technical issues, things are, you know, things are settled and ready for the next stream. Hope you're doing well, Charles. Thank you for dropping in, everyone. Great work, Lily. Yes, she is an absolute angel and a blessing. Hey guys, been a while. I wanted to say hi. Running Bear, I hope you are healing well, my friend. I hope you're healing well. Lily is the MVP. So just chatting with everyone on here and having a victory Coke. Yeah. I say victory Coke, you know, like I did something, but, you know, a victory. Now what are you doing? Are you trying to get down? All right. Hey, got it back. Yes. Al, good evening. If you guys haven't checked out V-Twin Gaming, Al actually put out part 2 of his How to Paint an Ultramarine series today as part of our March for Macragge community challenge. You can check out that tutorial today on YouTube over at V-Twin Gaming. Of course, you can check him out right there. He's in the chat, or you can see him. He's at the top of our list in our Friends of the Frosted Fist link below. That is something, by the way, I think I could go ahead and shout out for what little time is left in the show is we are doing a March for Macragge community challenge. And yeah, just trying to get people involved in, you know, the time of year. You know, March is the time that a lot of us like to break out, you know, our blue boys, ultramarines. And for our community challenge, even though like Steve, who took my dice, Miniature Wargaming, and myself are doing ultramarines, and so is V-Twin Gaming. We're all doing ultramarines. You know, the March for Macragge community challenge, we're opening up to, you know, just painting anything that's awesome in blue and, you know, part of your miniature wargaming fun. So Funkin' Hungry there, also known as G the Hyper Sapien, is doing a blue orc, which is going to be awesome. I'll get down on some Mickey D's. Hey, Mickey D sounds delicious. Good evening, Steve. Hope you're doing well. Macragge, it's on. And so yeah, so far, oh, March for the McDonald's. That's what the Mickey D's is. So far, V-Twin Gaming there is joining in on our March for Macragge team. Of course, my co-host is Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming, and G the Hyper Sapien is also participating in the March for Macragge challenge. Then Gamers with Coffee also said that they'll be doing an entry for March for Macragge too. So just a fun community challenge. There is a playlist on the Frost and Fist channel where you can see everyone who's submitted a video so far for March for Macragge. Yeah, it's some fun stuff there. Like I said, we've got G's entry video, my entry video, Steve's entry video from Who Took My Dice. And there's 2 videos for how to paint an ultramarine in that playlist from V-Twin Gaming, so check it out. Come to Iowa hungry, mid-40s all weekend. Hey, Steve, also from V-Twin Gaming, he'll be hopping on the challenge as well. That's awesome. Dude, so much community love. I really appreciate it, guys. I'm in Australia, man. It's hot over here as well. You know, it's crazy. It's March now, and we're already, like it's muggy. It's in the 80s. There's like giant mosquitoes just flying around already. And normally, like our one like really cold month is February, and we didn't really get a February this year. Like it was muggy. Like we maybe got 2 cold days, but it was muggy all throughout February. And now we're into March, and it's starting to feel kind of ugh already. Seasons are definitely off. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, even though I am uh, at the end of the show, I did want to show you guys today something I thought was pretty cool, something non 40K. So before we call it a night, some of my favorite Space Marines are in fact, you know, from the 40K universe. But what about Space Marines that are not 40K? What about straight up Spartans? And so anyone who's familiar with a big company like Mantic War Games might find this kind of cool. There we go. Done. Yep. My window is off again. We'll do it live. I guarantee you the next time I do this, it'll be all messed up. All right. Halo Flashpoint. So Mantic War Games is coming out with a Halo Flashpoint game. It's coming in fall 2024, so later this year. Mantic is known for, being able to put together some really good war games and really good rule sets. And yeah, so if you look, like, this kind of reminds me of, was it, now ODST was the soldiers, right? But yeah, this reminds me of, the Spartans that came before Master Chief, with the variety of the armors and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'm really keen for, all of these, having a whole army of Spartans on the tabletop. My name is Caboose, but you can call me O'Malley. This is Sparta. Oh yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be so cool. If I don't know if these are just renders or if these are actual minis that someone's already painted up, like, typically how a company will get, together with some of their early concept minis and send them to, artists to do up. If these are actually painted minis that they've hired someone to do professional mock-ups for, that's going to be cool. That's going to be real cool. I definitely won't be getting as detailed as this guy here who's done the desert camo all over his armor, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked. And like I said, Mantic is known for being able to put together some pretty well balanced games. All right, so it says, at Mantic, we've had a 12-year experience in designing great futuristic skirmish experiences. So you can look forward to a dynamic game that rewards tactical thinking, encourages bold play styles, and creates awesome cinematic moments that will authentically reflect the very best of the Halo universe. As well as being the perfect for the seasoned tabletop fan, this will also be a brilliant game to welcome first-time miniature gamers, filled with incredible pre-assembled, oh, that's even better for me, plastic miniatures, and pre-colored easy assembly terrain. Interesting. It said it's just the start, so I'm also keen to see some Covenant. Yes. You and your opponent will be taking command of highly trained Spartan fire teams that clash against each other using combat tactics and iconic weapons from the Halo universe. It's going to be straight up red versus blue. Once you both mastered your battle strategies, you'll be prepared for the dangerous foes and fresh conflicts waiting just over the horizon. So that does kind of hint at some of those later. Charles, thank you so much for coming in. But yeah, that definitely does sound like it's leaving room for, you know, some other factions to come in, like the Covenant. Yeah, it sounds like DC ones and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, etc., that had pre-assembled. Oh, okay. It's true. You know, now you mention it, it says skirmish experiences, so it'll probably be smaller groups like the DC game, possibly the Marvel game. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool. And if it's a skirmish game, it'll be, you know, no assembly, it's pre-assembled. You know, it'll be low investment to like get in, and I won't have to devote too much brain power to learning to play a new game, which I'm all for. You know, yeah, that'll be cool. But yeah, that was the #1 article I wanted to share with you guys this evening, and so, you know, still, this is kind of neat that I was able to show you guys, and I'm really excited for some Halo goodness. I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of fond memories hanging out and playing Halo, you know, with a bunch of friends. Sometimes, you know, like all night. When I worked at GameStop, we would literally lock up the store together. We'd all go meet back at, you know, one of the guys' places, and it was back during LAN time, so like all of us would show up with, you know, our Xboxes. They actually had special like backpacks and carrying cases for taking to LANs and stuff like that, where it was like properly cushioned and like spaced straight for your Xbox. And yeah, we used to do like major Halo nights, like all night. Just, you know, we'd get in there and it'd just be alcohol and Halo all night. Dude, my boys get excited for Halo. Heck yeah. That would be fun campaign, red versus blue. Oh yes, doing the characters and everything red versus blue style. That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be real cool indeed. Definitely recommend Halo Wars to everyone. Yes, I do still need to go back and play those. I think I recently added them to my Steam list. Or at least I had the intention to. In fact, let's check on that here in a little bit. I did the exact same, bro. We had those TVs. Yes, having all the TVs. Halo Wars or Halo Wars 2, G? Both. But yeah, oh man, the multiple setups. The crazy thing is that, okay, so we used to get on competitive big team battles, right? Because there was so much of us playing. And so we go to these 16-player lobbies where there'd be like, you know, like all of us hanging out trying to go against another team, giant team. And so we would be like 4 TVs of 4-player split screen, you know, and everybody's LAN cables would be, we had this one where we'd have a hub like upstairs where we were playing, and then my friends, like wires would be coming from like 3 different rooms, and then his router was downstairs on the first floor. And so we had a hub where everybody's stuff was plugged in together, and then his main connection was on the first floor. And so we had this long ass cable that would just go all the way downstairs, you know, and it looked kind of ghetto because it would be like this massive collection of wires meeting right where the balcony of the stairs was, and then like, you know, one cable drooping off the balcony, plugging straight in, so that way we could all be kind of have that plugged in, extra speed, because, you know, if you were wireless, you know, that lag could get you killed. I was pretty into Gears of War also. I've played the first 2. Did I finish 2? I don't remember. Gears of War was good, but my gaming group kind of dissolved by that point. Like, I started 2 multiple times with several different friends, and I'm not sure I ever finished it. But I really enjoyed Gears of War. In fact, I recently, like last year, went through and rebeat part 1 again. And yeah, just the whole time I just kept calling out Space Marine battle cries, you know, because I was like, I mean, they're kind of a grittier, more, you know, like, they've got that gritty kind of Space Marine feel, you know. They do get better. The stories are great from 1 and 2, but the game got better later on. Horde mode is also fun. Yes. Oh, man. What's your favorite weapon, man? I really like the torque bow. I really like just lining up those shots. Like, the sniper rifle, more efficient, for sure. But there's just something so satisfying about lining up that shot. And then, like, it would stick. And maybe it's the same satisfaction of a sticky grenade, because it hits, and then there's delay, and then their head explodes, you know? It's just, it's so cool. I love me a rifle but with the chainsaw action, yeah. That's pretty cool. I think sometimes I would die more often trying to pull off the chainsaw executions. Just trying to make it work. Just because, especially like the first couple games, they weren't that super smooth and fluid, you know, and sometimes you just get in there and you're trying to hit the button, but the prompt won't come up, like, you know, just because it was kind of buggy. The first couple were kind of buggy, they weren't that polished, and you're just like trying to hit the execution button and the prompt won't come up, and then of course, you know, people are steady shooting you while you're trying to make it happen. But the Lancer was still really cool. And yeah, it definitely feels like a 40k weapon, because you've got the chainsword and the bolter all in one. Okay, Mantic now has my email. I need to. I don't know if I've signed up to them. Oh, I did actually. Oh yeah, exactly. I'd be up there trying to get the prompt to happen, get my chainsaw on, take it down, crawling around, waiting for somebody to pick me up. Ugh. Bleeding out the whole time. Fun stuff. Speaking of crawling around, bleeding a lot, we've been playing some Tiny Tina's Wonderland. We, as in myself, Atlas, my wife Lily, we've been playing some Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and that's another, you know, Borderlands is another series where you could do that, you know. Of course, I'm playing a melee character. I've got I'm playing as the Clawbringer. And so for the longest time, I had the one where you swirl your hammer in a circle and bring it down, and it's just this big fire explosion. And of course, to get the maximum amount of that AoE, I would charge into the middle of a bunch of people shooting me, and then go for the hammer down. But of course, running straight into a whole mess of people, I would get, you know, shot a lot. My friends would have to, you know, come pick me up. So anyways, yeah, it's I have recently switched though to, they have an alt version of that ultimate. Instead of going for the hammer down, you can go straight up Thor, charge your hammer with lightning, and yeet it across the screen, and it'll do burst damage when it hits them, and usually it'll go through them, and then you can recall the hammer, and it's just like in the Marvel movies where you put your hand out and it makes that, like, you know, that high pitch, like, and your hand shakes and then the hammer slaps back into your hand. And when you do the pull back, as the hammer's coming back, it does more dot damage, more damage over time as it after it hits them on the way back. So it's like you hit them with the burst damage, and you hit them on the way back with the hammer, and so you're getting burst damage and damage over time, which is pretty cool. I used to do Borderland runs for speed runs for loot back in the day. Oh, got a speed runner in the chat. That's cool. It's raining loot. Ah, hallelujah! It's raining loot. Ah, in the Borderlands. That's cool. Yeah, Borderlands is a fun series. I played 1 through 3 and really enjoyed them. I started to play the pre-sequel, the one with the villains. I didn't enjoy that one as much, but I am definitely enjoying Tiny Tina's Wonderland now. So, that's been kind of my gaming experience this week. Oh, and I started Warhammer 40k Power Wash Simulator this week. And so I've cleaned the Land Raider, I've cleaned the Redemptor Dreadnought, and the Rogel Dorn Battle Tank, and I've cleaned the Imperial Knight House Hawkshroud. I cleaned that today. And so now I'm on the Thunderhawk, which is pretty cool. And I haven't started it yet. I just unlocked it and then realized earlier I was running late for dinner to go pick up dinner. And I had to make a deposit for, to pay off rent and some bills and stuff. But yeah, so I did all those today. I'm looking forward to cleaning the Thunderhawk. Man, which makes sense if you've ever put together an Imperial Knight, because you have the internal skeleton. And then you've got like all the armor plates on top of that. And so the Imperial Knight was a pain in the butt because there's so many nooks and crannies to clean out on the Imperial Knight. So it was a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it was still fun. I love Power Wash Simulator. It's relaxing and satisfying, and having it in 40k thing was pretty awesome. Fallout is another great series of games. Yes, I started with 3. 3 is still my favorite to this day. I know it's a unpopular opinion, but 3 is my favorite. I enjoyed 4, enjoyed New Vegas. I need to finish 4 actually, because like I was one of those games where I made it to the end, and then for some reason never finished. But I need to finish that one. But it's one of those games where it's been like 2 years since I've played it, so kind of almost feel like I need to start again at the beginning. Never played 76 because it was so buggy when it first came out. I hear it's pretty good now though. Although I have to say, I did kind of protest that one, and I've kind of like not played it because I enjoy Fallout as a single player experience. A story-driven narrative experience, and it being a multiplayer game is weird to me. But I guess, Brother Richard has told me it's good. He's enjoyed it. I'll see what Brother Keegan thinks. I did protest it at first, and this still has a story to it. Okay. Well, we'll have to check it out. Yeah, if you tell me it's good, like Brother Richard's already told me it's good. If you tell me it's good, I may still check into it. And then last thing I've done on the gaming front, it's funny, I've done very little well, last week when when I started working on this guy with you guys, I hustled for the next several days. He is, like I said, almost at a finishing point. He just needs decals and basing. Really pleased with how he's come out. Now, that being said, and heat bloom. That being said, though, like I haven't really done any hobby besides this. I did get in some amazing terrain for like $15. This is enough terrain that's kind of as big as my head here. It's pretty awesome. And it was in a couple of pieces, so I put that together. And I've done some printing. I've printed off 12 Zombicide doors. Those are curing now. Because it's just more satisfying to have a physical door on the table, I think, when you're playing Zombicide. So I printed off 12 Zombicide doors. I've got a well for this basing here. And until I get a a legit Gilliman at some point. I'm printing off a temporary Gilliman because I found a cool file for one. So yeah, add that to my Ultramarines. But yeah, I haven't done really any painting. Oh, I've this this Wolf Lord I'm taking to my narrative event next month. Painted by Ben and converted by Ben Ellis, friend of the chat. Started basing him. So I put the groundwork on there. I need to paint up the stone, and then I'll put some snow on it, and he'll be ready to take to the tourney. So yeah, just little bits and pieces. Haven't done much hobby this week at all. That's some epic terrain. Yes, I was so surprised too. It's such a great price. And I did sort. I just dropped it a second ago. Can I find it? Nope, it belongs to the void now. I did find a really cool banner. So most of you know by now that this edition I plan on running my White Scars as Dark Angels, or Raven Wing specifically. I've even bought myself a Khan from 40K, who will be playing the role of Lionel Johnson. And this Dark Elf banner looks kind of like the straight banners that samurai would sometimes wear on their backs to go into battle. And I plan on putting it on the back of one of my bikes, after I paint it up. And it can be my Ancient on bike, so I can have a Raven Wing command squad. Yes, my Dark Scars. That's going to be cool. I did find a bunch of Humvees for Team Yankee unpainted. And I'm not looking forward to it. You'll have that, no problem. If you have Game Pass for Xbox, it's free right now. I do not, but that's pretty awesome. Yes, I'm so excited for the Dark Scars. So, yeah, I've got a banner for my Ancient on bike. That's going to be cool. And it'll be cool to actually put together the con, I think. Oh yeah, the last bit of hobby kind of stuff is I am more than halfway through Alan Wake 2 right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Most of you are younger than me. You probably don't get the whole 80s power ballad thing. But in Alan Wake 2, there's this such cool, like 80s style power ballad. The song is called Herald of Darkness, but the host of the TV show, and this isn't really giving anything away spoiler wise, but one of the ways that Alan perceives what's going on is through a talk show. And in this talk show, they have a musical episode, and anyways, the host calls this song, it's Herald of Darkness, or as I like to call it, and it's basically a recap of the first game and kind of like where the second game starts. So it goes, or as I like to call it, the story of the journey of Alan Wake. And it's so cool because, a ballad, a story is being told through song, right? And yeah, so it's like this 80s rockin' guitar ballad as they're kind of discussing the life of Alan Wake up to the beginning of the second game. It's so good. Oh my gosh. It's not just good as a video game song, but if you enjoy 80s guitar riffs and stuff like that, I have been legitimately just blasting that song on repeat for a couple of days now, just in my headphones. So, yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So that has by far been my favorite episode of Alan Wake 2 so far. But the song is just, oh my god, it's just chef's kiss. It's so good that they had them perform the song at the Video Game Awards. So, and that's just, it's just been so excellent. So yeah, that is a kind of this test run showing you guys that while I missed most of the show today, things have been fixed here at the end. I kind of came in at the end, ran over about 30 minutes just to spend a little time hanging out with some of my favorite peeps in this hobby community. I will be doing an after show hangout, so if anyone's interested, I'll be throwing out links, or if you're a member of our Discord, just come hang in the chat room in the Discord, and we'll welcome you to hang out for a bit. And yeah, just a little catch up with what I've been doing this week, a little hobby poke chop, if you will. Showing you what I got for a poke chop. So, Purple Rain is the best power ballad of the 80s. Not a bad catch-up. Thank you so much. And so, if you guys liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop me some comments down below. Let us know what you've been working on, and feel free to be part of any of tonight's ridiculous short conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to any of my friends down in the link tree of the Friends of the Frosted Fist below, then we would love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. So subscribe. Until next time, guys, stay frosty. You can't say F the Emperor. You're about to sign up for the guard, son.